Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are in my office and I'm going to show you a little bit of how I edit. So I've gone ahead and pulled a few of my favorite photos that we're going to edit. I edit on Lightroom. I just have the subscription, so it's always updating and I always have the newest. These are my presets over here, so I have a few that I've bought, but I don't love all of them, so I don't usually use most of them. My favorite lately has been the Portra Pushed by Mastin So anytime I get a preset, I tweak it to how I like it because you're never going to get one that's exactly how you want. So I've been using this Portra Pushed, my version of it. Starting out, I always try to get my pictures correct straight out of camera. That makes it the easiest for editing. This one is a little dark, so I'm going to bring up those whites and the highlights, and then I'm probably going to bring up those shadows a bit, maybe just a bit less. So what I look for is I don't want overexposed highlights, but I don't want them dim. So you see here, like when I drag this down, they get like really dim and their skin tone kind of looks funky. So there's that, and then I'll go in and mess with like the white balance. This one seems a little bit warm to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and fix that. Sometimes it's hard to get it just right, but I feel happy with that. It was snowing, so I might come in here and spot remove. So I'll just kind of do some of these snow spots as I see fit, like especially if there's any big ones. But I think we're doing not too bad here. There's a few on here I might remove, but that's something I would play with later. And that's that picture. So next one. Alright, I'm going to apply this preset. I always apply my preset as I import it though, so I never actually have to go through and manually apply. This picture is a little slanted, so I'm going to fix that up. And then it's overexposed, so I'm going to bring down some of the blacks so we get a little bit more in there. And then it was just kind of a bland day in color. You see, like, it was overcast and there's just not a lot of color there, so I'm actually going to bring up my vibrance a bit to give it a bit more life. As you see, my vibrance and my saturation are usually pretty low, like toned down a bit, so sometimes you got to bring those up. And then I have all these people in the background, and nobody wants people in their wedding picture, so we're just going to take a minute here and remove them. I've already delivered all these pictures, so I am not going to spend a ton of time working on this. Okay. So obviously I would do like a bit better detail and getting it to all match, but for now this is fine. I just want to show you kind of how I do it. So that's kind of like what I would look for. To remove some of the distractions, and like this was another one that was pretty good straight out of camera, so it didn't take a lot. Alright, applying the preset again. This time you see that my preset didn't exactly match with the photo colors. Like, it kind of makes it a little funky. That's why I chose this, so I could show you like what happens, what to do when it's not exactly how you want it. So straight off the bat, it's a little too dark. I'm going to go in. I don't want to bump my highlights or my whites because I don't want to lose the sky. You see, if I do that, then all of that sky detail goes away. So I'm going to keep those pulled down. Whoops. Okay. The whites I can bring up and not lose too much of that sky, so I'm going to start there. Bring up some of those shadows, and then I'm going to boost the exposure just a bit. And then it's too warm. Yeah, it's okay. It's not too bad. And then I'm going to play around and see what these luminance sliders do. As far as their hair and skin tones, I don't want to ruin that. But this grass is just kind of bugging me. that is so white. So I can bring them the yellow without losing too much, without bringing down her hair or their skin tones too much. So I'm going to do that. But then the orange, you see the orange really affects it. Whoa! So I'm going to just leave that right where it was. And I like it. I'm happy with that. So that's what I would deliver. Alright, moving right along. Oh man, did you see that transition? Look at this. Look at this. Boom! Sky detail. We go from like no contrast, they kind of blend in here, to, oh, so beautiful. So obviously our white balance is a little off. So I'm going to adjust that, warm it up. This was just a warm desert area, so we want it to reflect that. And then, here, I'll go back to how it was. There's definitely a lot of green in this shot. I'm not a fan of green skin tones, so I boost my tint, and I'm going to add a little bit of blacks. Maybe pull it down and see what else we can get back here. Yeah, it definitely needs some more contrast, so I'm going to boost that. And then I'm not a fan of him being so close to the frame, and then here's all this space behind her. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to crop it in even more. Let me see. Maybe a little less. I kind of just play with it until I get it right. There's no right or wrong way. So, yeah, I really love that. So that's that one. I'm going to apply this preset, and then it's too bright, so I'm going to bring it down. There we go. Maybe pop down some of those blacks. I love deep blacks. Like, that is my favorite thing. So we're going to add a bit more contrast, and I'm going to warm it up just a touch. And then I see a little bit too much green in here, so I'm going to add in some, adjust my tint. And this right here bugs me, but I really like where they are positioned, and I like how much detail is above them. So I'm just going to edit it out instead of crop it out, which is also another option. There we go. I'm going to do it kind of in sections because we have different things going on. That way it kind of looks like, I don't know, like it should. But here I don't have my horizons correct. This one is the, yeah, there we go. So I just lined up my horizons, and now you can't even tell. So, all right, going on to the last one. Again, that same preset, and this is slanted, so I'm going to, first I try to go in with my auto, and that did it just fine. So this one was overexposed, shame on me. I'm going to pop down those shadows, and I put down the exposure there, and then it's literally perfect. So that one was easy. Alright, well, I hope that helped you out a little bit. Hopefully you learned something that you can apply to your own editing. If you have any questions, drop them below in the comments and I will answer them. And we'll see you next time.